Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 25th of October, 2022, and welcome to another episode of Bits of Crypto. We are back, buddy. We are back. Let's keep it going in the background. Let's get this vibe happening. What's happening, man? How are you? You good?
And it was your birthday, so
it was my birthday.
You had a good weekend as well.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great weekend in Sydney, which was lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. What about you? Just chilling out in the country still?
Just chilling in the country. I mean, doing a bit of trading. I actually had a few good trades over the weekend. I hit two nice longs that I shared last week on the streams, and then I also had a couple nice spot plays. So it's been a good weekend for trading. The market has come down a little bit, but I don't think that should deter us because there are plenty of opportunities. And in today's show, I'm going to be sharing with you guys an altcoin that I have been buying that actually pumped, like doubled in a day, and then recently has just come back down to almost its pre-pump levels. That is one that I'm looking at accumulating for next cycle. That'll be towards the end of the show in the play of the day section, but there's plenty of important stuff to talk about.
And in true tricky form, I'll be giving you guys an absolute DGEM play that I'm looking at the end of the show as well. And it's a real IPO coin that I'm going to be buying to maybe get 1,000x. So we'll see if we can get that going. But hey, everyone, don't forget to like the video, please. Give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Follow Miles and I on all the places. And let's get into the show. So first story of today is Apple has just released a new set of rules in relation to NFTs and the App Store. They have recently just released an update to their terms and conditions, and basically what they're saying is that the apps may be used and purchased to sell services related to non-fungible tokens such as minting, listing, and transferring. So you can still release your apps if you have NFTs on them. But what you're not allowed to do is to unlock features or functionalities within the app because of these or with these NFTs. So they're basically setting guidelines in relation to how you can use NFTs within their apps that are downloaded from the App Store. So it's an interesting take that they're taking a stance on. What do you think about this? Do you find it controversial, or do you think it's kind of a little bit more not surprising?
I'll tell you what I don't like, and this issue is probably a little bit bigger than just crypto, but I don't like how much control Apple does have over these apps. I think it's a dangerous precedent to set going forward, especially with something like crypto. Like NFTs have such huge potential to offer like cool features for using an app. Like if you hold a certain NFT and you're using an app and that gives you access to exclusive perks, that's something that can be replicated and used for many different use cases. And that's what's so exciting about NFTs in general. But the problem is if Apple's going to be the gatekeeper here and is going to be implementing rules such as this, which really stifle innovation, then I do see it as a slight issue. And yeah, I think many other companies, Google, Uber, have had problems with Apple's policies in the past, and it's probably no different for NFTs going forward. So Solana phone all the way.
Yeah, I think they make a good point though here is that at least this gives some guidelines to the developers. And I think that, that is slightly a step in the right direction, because at the moment everyone's kind of stabbing in the dark. So I think it can be kind of helpful that, you do have some guidelines in place. But again, I'm against the idea of them having complete control over how it works, because it goes against everything we talk about when it comes to decentralization. But moving on. So the bankruptcy court has approved FTX's purchase of Voyager. So we knew this was all going on in the background. We knew that it had been approved, but now it's actually official. And FTX has basically been approved to purchase the $1.42 billion worth of compromised assets from the now fallen over Voyager. And this has been going on for quite a while, and now it looks like it's finalized. And it's
interestingly, someone in the comments just said it's back on the previous topic, not the Sam FTX stuff, which is obviously the talk of the town right now, is that if you heard anything about Apple and Render, if you guys didn't know, Render did have an application that they were pushing to Apple users. They were working with Apple to push that onto the App Store. I do like Render as a play long term. I think it's one of those projects that has massive potential, My only issue with it is the current user growth has been very slow, and the community's kind of, I guess, dead compared to what it was anticipated to be. However, if we look at the pure tech, the tech stack's very good. What do you think about render?
Yeah. No, I love render.
GPU processing's huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and the way they gather everyone's processing power from various different places. So they're using your phones, and they're pooling it all together to kind of create this giant supercomputer. It's genius tech. But it just needs to get the adoption, I guess, which I can see happening moving forward.
Speaking of genius, Sam's a genius, or is he?
Well, yeah, I know. Look, I think he's definitely taking over the world, and this is him trying to go for Celsius now as well. Next. This is Sam Bankman-Fried wanting to take over the entire cryptoverse right now, and there he is, just getting right into it.
Stomping the competition into the ground.
Yep, very much reminding me of Daffy Duck, and very much doing that to everyone around the board. And there's been a lot of talk about him over the weekend. I saw a lot of stuff on Crypto Banter as well with Ran and Bitcoin. Pretty hectic. He's got a pretty bad rep, doesn't he?
We've covered it enough over the last few days. I'm sure you guys have heard all about it, but Sam's bill, I think, does have fundamental flaws. And I think there is a little bit of malice in terms of how he is approaching, how he's tweeting, and being quite liberal, open towards the community. And then you actually read the bill and it's very, very different to what he's actually tweeting. And BitBoy has come out against it and wants to launch his own bill. Some very interesting stuff on Crypto Banter. We had a show on it. Basically, I'm not sure this is very good for the space. It's never good.
Yeah.
We don't want to turn crypto into a monopoly, and that seems to be what's happening here. So, yeah, I'm not for it.
Okay, moving on. Something I thought was super interesting today is a precedent is starting to be set. So some Americans have been jailed for stealing only $330,000, which is SFA, as we all know in this space. I mean, you're talking about, $500-600 million hacks happening almost every other fucking day at the moment. And then these guys are getting investigated and jailed for stealing $330,000 in basically just a swapping and computer hacking method that they've used. But I kind of think this is setting a bit of a massive precedent that they're trying. I mean, it was investigated by the FBI, and they're the ones who have prosecuted. And I kind of feel like this is opening up and setting a precedent for the crypto space moving forward.
I agree. And I also think it just highlights the importance of, if you are using two-factor authentication, make sure you do it on an app and not on your SIM card, because it's very easy for these hackers to steal from you if you're purely operating your crypto verifications on a SIM card. So yeah, very good precedent. Well, not good, but interesting, I guess, precedent going forward that they will actually prosecute for crypto crimes, which makes sense because like you're stealing money off people, you deserve to be punished.
So from one crypto crime to another. These guys.
Yeah, this was crazy, man.
This
was
is
nuts.
Crazy. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like these other guys, they stole $330,000 and they've been jailed for up to 4 years because they've basically where they've been prosecuted. Whereas these guys, because they're kind of floating in the nowheresville, they've it's a total rug at this point. It's $100 million and it's a total rug at this point as well. So
I'll give a bit of background if people want,
you go for it. Yeah, so Freeway have halted all their withdrawals. So
I was actually offered to be a sponsor of Freeway, and I took the meeting, by the way, with one of the head of product management there. Great guy. Honestly, almost convinced me like with their product. They were very, very convincing, but I didn't choose to promote them, and this was like 6 months ago because there was a little bit of a discrepancy between where they were getting their yield and the yield they were paying. And I was just, there wasn't enough clarity for me to be comfortable pushing to my audience. So I didn't do it. 6 months later, it's turned out that this wasn't a viable, sustainable form of yield, and that they essentially couldn't afford to pay out the yield to users. But I think it goes even further that some of the assets that they were borrowing have now also fallen under their collateral value, meaning they can't even afford to pay back users' original deposits. So look, it is rumors until it's official, but we've seen this story time and time again with Voyager, with the rumors that were happening, BlockFi, with Nexo. This looks like another centralized finance exchange going bust, and it's $100 million. And these guys, if it's true, these guys are crooks, and it's pretty disappointing to see. But look, it's happened since Luna time and time again.
They froze the platform. And then they released this statement trying to basically calm everyone down, saying, we're just frozen it for the reasons we are is because we're just, trying to catch the market's been bad. It's, this not profitable. Things aren't sustainable. So they've basically treated it like this guy, where they've tried to calm the market by moving the tablecloth from one area to another. And so that's the way they've they've set it up, saying that, we're freezing it to help everybody out. So we've taken the tablecloth from one side to the other. Then you've had this thread that's come out from the guy who breaks all the big news these days, the fat man, who's basically turned around and said, this is just another $100 million rug. And then to follow on from this, the token value has then fallen 75%. And again, it's like this house of cards that just keeps happening time and time again, where people keep pulling away at the bricks, the foundations of the crypto world. And then this kind of stuff just happens where everything just falls over.
That's insane, that video.
Did
you know he was going to collapse it? He obviously knew.
Yeah, I knew. But it's just another example of the way this kind of thing works, right? It's like these guys are coming out, they're trying to calm everyone down. They're trying to make it sound like everything's okay. And then before you know it, word spreads that things aren't going well and everything falls over. So that's kind of the way it goes at the moment. But hey, shout out to Block Wallet, mate.
Shout out to Block Wallet for sponsoring the show. I do want to use this break before we go into the next segment to comment on a question that someone asked. They said, thoughts on CKB, Nervous Network? I know a little bit about it. It's basically an L1, but it's powering a different kind of infrastructure. I'm not the expert, but I do know that it is a top 5 commonly held asset by VCs, according to Masari's latest report. So Nervous Network, certainly the ones the VCs are placing, certainly one that the VCs are placing bets on, not one that I've placed a bet on yet. I'll talk a bit more about it in the future, but yeah, not buying, not selling, just doing my research on that one. But interesting in terms of the VC holdings there. But also thank you to Block Wallet for sponsoring the show. They're basically a wallet like MetaMask, but with a few cool features. So you can bridge in wallet. That's a feature coming very, very soon. You can also swap assets in your wallet. And they also have a very nice UI. So link in the description if you want to check out Block Wallet. And yeah, it's always a good idea to diversify your wallets anyway, in terms of certain exploit risk on Google Chrome, etc. So that's something that I've been doing, and Block Wallet's one that I've been using. So yeah, awesome. Let's get into the rest of the show.
Let's move on, bro. Macro news from around the world. It's going crazy out there. Stock market racks up gains on the back of the earnings, which is quite interesting because we were expecting it maybe to go the opposite because the earnings haven't been great, but they haven't been horrifically bad. And as a result, we've kind of had a stock market pump and a bit of a rally, which is good. Yep.
I mean, we had a rally. I think things started to reverse a little bit. Bitcoin's still lagging behind the stock market, so that's a negative. I mean, although in the last 3 months Bitcoin has outperformed the stock market, we would like to see a little more parity now because the stocks seem to be equities seem to be front running crypto slightly, which is a bit of a turnaround.
And in other massive macro news is Sunak has been chosen to be the new Prime Minister of the UK, and he is a very, 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 very crypto-friendly man. He's given this massive acceptance speech, which I suggest you guys go and have a listen to at some point, talking about CBDCs and introducing a digital currency pretty much straight off the bat, which is pretty bullish for crypto, would you say, Miles?
No, I don't like CBDCs. I see this the opposite way.
I see the opposite.
Terrible for the space. So
I think it's terrible.
Look, he is crypto friendly, but CBDCs, they're government controlled digital currencies. They're not decentralized. They degrade the very essence of why Bitcoin was created in the first place. So no, I don't like CBDCs. They just give the government more control over their users. Don't you see a future? And I don't want to get into conspiracies, but there's a future where your insurance is so your spending could essentially be cut off by the government, right? So the government
when they can freeze stuff like that,
So we don't want the people to eat meat. You know, we want a vegan society. So if you've been buying meat products, we'll just freeze your bank account. They could do the same with insurance or medical spending or like. I'm not saying it'll happen. It's a big conspiracy, and we won't get.
I guess on the flip side of that, though,
it just gives the government more control.
But on the
basically.
flip side, for the flip side argument, the bullish argument would be that by onboarding more money into the digital realm, it adds more fuel to the crypto fire to help it then grow further because there is more available capital in the digital space.
But CBDCs aren't crypto, they're government-created currencies. I think the only beneficiaries are the chains that they partner with. And we know they're going to partner with chains. Like, for example, Quant.
Yeah.
Quant is definitely one that has been rumored to have a hand in some of these CBDCs. I think it was even rumored to be working with the UK. So coins like that, those ISO 20022 coins, that whole payment narrative, like, you know, Quant and HBAR and XRP and those ones, some of them may benefit from this, but overall, I don't think it's a good thing. But hey, let's see.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Onwards and upwards, more micro macro. This is getting pretty bad over there. Russia have threatened to use a nuclear weapon, and the United States has come out and said that if you guys deploy any form of nuclear weapon at all, this will be very bad for Russia. So this is not looking good. I would keep watching out for all this because this could be the black swan event that no one really wants. Fingers crossed we get nothing like that at all. Let's move on.
Absolutely not.
So Bitcoin price, 19,316. We've had a bit of a pullback. We had a nice weekend pump, but it looked like a bit of a fake out. Got to that 19,650 number and then just totally pulled off. It looks like it's attempted to get back up there again two or three times, but I mean, I'm seeing downside here, which is not great for everything.
You're like Marin, the astrology genius, says reckons that the markets are going to have a rough week because of the new moon, and new moons tend to yield some pretty bad results. But I don't believe in that crap.
I would just say it's more got to do with. I would say it's more got to do with the lower highs and Bitcoin attempting to break 19.6 but not being able to. That would be my analogy. Wouldn't have anything to do with the moons, but you know, each to their own.
I still think risk reward. I'm different to you. I still think this could be a bullish week. I still see at some point 21 to 23 being a real eventuality. It's just, you know, earnings need to be good, basically. There's still another week of massive earnings. If earnings are good and the PCE data is good, then we probably get a rally. And if that data is bad, then we probably do come back down. But 19K, just before we get into the other stuff, 19K is very interesting because it's a gravitational force. Bitcoin has spent more time at 19K than any other level throughout its entire history. In fact, I'm pretty sure over 50% of its history has been at 19K. I've forgotten the exact stat, but it's like a gravitational force for Bitcoin. So could 19K genuinely be Bitcoin's historical fair value? I think that's an interesting question to ask now.
Yeah. I mean, you can just see, ever since the dump, you can just see we keep going back there. It just keeps going back. It just keeps getting sucked back down, bounces up or down.
19 long term.
No, because I mean, look, if you go on that whole thesis of the 19K is this kind of gravitational force, then chances are we're going to get a leg down, and then just as easily we'll get a leg up, right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you'll be pulling back to that same area, which is kind of what's been happening. I mean, it doesn't seem to be dropping below that kind of 18.5 number. Every time we get down that low, we spring straight back up, or even that 17.8. Every time we get down there, we spring straight back up. And then on the flip side of that, every time we reach over that kind of $20,000 number, 21, we just spring straight back down. So, I mean, this could be our range. And I've heard, a lot of people have said it before, but this is probably actually most likely our range for the next couple of years.
Years. Wow, that's a scary thought. But
altcoins,
by the way, just let me give everyone a bit of hope here. Okay, let's say Bitcoin, it does hang around 19 for 2 years in this hypothetical scenario. That doesn't mean we're not going to get pumps. Now, if Bitcoin goes to 23 in a rally, what do you think happens to alts? We get 3, 4, 5 X's from some of them.
Yeah.
They're going to fly. Some are going to triple. So the thing is, yes, this is likely an extended bear market, but that doesn't mean that we won't get opportunities to make money in the meantime. I think that's something people mix up. Like over the weekend, I made like 60% on multiple trades, 30% on my Aptos, 40% on my gains. Like, and that was just through basically spot trading and low leverage trading. So there's opportunities to make money. Airdrops are another way to make money, which I've been covering heavily on my Twitter as well. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've been seeing all the airdrop talk. There's ways to make money in this market. So
there is.
Yeah, irrespective of Bitcoin.
So just, yeah, we saw the crypto bubbles. We know what's going on there. Fear and greed still at 22, not moving.
It loves 20.
Long and short ratio. The market is a little bit short heavy. So
Short squeeze.
Short squeeze. Yeah, take it as you will. I doubt there'll be a short squeeze, but let's see how we go. Okay, onwards and upwards, buddy. So quick fire. Let's fire through a couple of these things. It seems like Twitter is building a crypto wallet. Thoughts?
If Twitter can implement this successfully, and I think Elon Musk would be a proponent of this once he takes over Twitter, then yep, bullish for crypto. And I do think there is a need for a genuine social media wallet.
Yeah, it's huge, I reckon. Wonderland Money, these old guys have popped up again. They have stopped distributing Spell token as a reward. Yeah, exactly. Wonderland Money. These guys, these old Daniel Siesta's crew, right? The old time.
Wait, who's that?
They popped up again. They're still. I know exactly. I can't believe they're still going.
Memory. That feels like a past.
When I saw this, I was shocked. But anyway, they're still kicking on, and they've stopped rewarding Spell, and they're now rewarding USDC as a farm. So I don't know if anyone's still holding it, but it might be worth having a look.
Spell's still a cool protocol. It's a shame what happened with Popsicle, because Popsicle had such potential, but they just stopped developing. Spell's probably
honestly, it's a shame what happened to all of it, to be honest. Like, I mean, the whole concept of it was great. So just a bummer that none of that worked out. Okay. So Reddit NFT surge on Reddit as they onboard millions of users with their avatar NFTs, which is pretty interesting. So that's super bullish for NFTs. But on the flip side of that, we've had NFTs on Solana absolutely dump. And especially on Magic Eden, after they've introduced this whole ripping off the royalties to lower the prices, there's been a lot of blowback on that, and a lot of people are really unhappy about that. What do you reckon about that one?
Well, I'll give you an interesting stat, and that's Solana NFTs are down 90% in their trading volume since September 7th. 90%. So NFTs, just think about it this way. Solana is viewed as the NFT and gaming chain. The NFT and gaming chain, supposedly, has lost 90% of the reason why it was valued so highly in the first place. Now, I'm not bearish on Solana. I really like the Solana network, and I'm actually going to the conference in a week, which I'm super excited about. That's in Lisbon.
Oh, I wish I was coming.
I'm so excited. Europe's going to be awesome. But I like Solana, don't get me wrong. But it's a real worry when your number one selling point becomes a weakness. And I think if you're in Solana now, you'd be a little bit nervous. And I'm not saying it'll go to zero. I'm still pretty bullish long term because I like the tech and the team and what they're doing with UI focused apps. But we're just going to be a little bit careful here because it's not a good sign.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But on to the moment everyone's been waiting for, buddy. This is what everyone came here to see. Play of the day.
Okay,
play of the day. Miles, you're up first. You can do the first play of the day today.
I'll keep this fairly brief. I might do a full video on this in the future, but I'll tell you the reasons why this is my play of the day. So firstly, I think we got to identify whenever we buy a coin, why we're buying a coin. Now, I believe in the future, there will be a mass onboarding of users into Web3 and crypto. Now, when that happens, and that's likely next cycle, people are going to be holding and buying coins. And when you have these coins, you need places to stake them. So I believe that the best infrastructure for staking crypto and earning income on crypto, which is very prevalent in traditional finance with staking or essentially earning dividends from owning stocks. I think this is a major use case in crypto. And when I look at the landscape of staking and DeFi for next cycle, there's no other protocol with UI and tokenomics as strong as Beefy, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, this is purely for staking because what they are is a yield aggregator. So you can stake, they aggregate the yield, and they pay it out. So it's a very simple to use platform, very good UI, and very elegant tokenomics. So I like Beefy for next cycle. It's a long-term play. It's one that I'm buying, I'm setting and forgetting, and I'll continue to buy. And you may have even saw that the price went to $500 and then went straight back down. That is likely because they were executing a buyback. Because what Beefy does is they use a percentage of their revenue to buy back tokens. So since the tokens are fully diluted, so there's no more emissions to come, yield or revenue is paid back to holders of the BIFI token. So every time vaults are entered, exited and tokens are swapped in their vaults, a percentage of that is used to pay back BIFI holders. That is a use case for Beefy. Very elegant, very simple tokenomics. And also the team uses a percentage of their treasury revenue, which is also from the vault deposits, to buy back Beefy tokens, which keeps a little bit of demand on the token. So I do see this as almost deflationary in terms of its net price. So Beefy, long term, I like it. I like the narrative. And yeah, that's my play of the day. And it was also my play of last week because I bought some on over the weekend.
Okay, now who's ready to absolutely degen? Let's do this, people. My play of the day, it's a gameplay. And I suggest you guys do your own research. This is not financial advice, and have a look into this, but it's Calvaria. Now they are here is their white paper. You can go to their Twitter. They've got a fairly decent following already. So 61,000 people. You can go to their website, and they're currently doing their pre-sale, which is in stage 1 right now. So you can purchase 100 RIA, they're calling it, it's their token, for $1 USDT. They've currently raised $72,000, and there's $200,000 to go until they reach their first tier. Now, these guys are fully doxed. You can go through their website, do some research. It's a card-based game. They've got a lot of people investing. There's a lot of talk about it. I've seen a few murmurs of it here and there, and I reckon this could be a pretty massive degen play, but maybe something you could look at chucking a little bit of cash into now and then getting out of.
So is there a
after
token?
Launch. The token is called RIA. Sorry, yeah, you're buying the token, which is called RIA. So it runs. It's not listed yet.
It's not listed. So
it might be on CoinGecko. It might be on CoinGecko now, actually. Let's have a look. No, it's not on CoinGecko. No, if you want to get involved, you have to go to their website and buy it through their pre-sale.
Do we know the tokenomics? Have you looked into like the decent tokenomics?
The tokenomics, the RIA token is used as the backbone of the game, and then the NFTs gives you access. So that stabilizes their the ecosystem within the game. But I suggest everyone do their own research and have a look into it.
Looks incredible. Look, I mean, clearly this is very risky, but this is your DJ.
It's a super risky play. It's a super risky play, and that's what it is. You know, if we're going to take a degen play, then this is the kind of thing to go. I like the look of it. I like the fact that these guys are fully doxed. You can see who they are on their website. They're creating a game. There's a bit of talk. They've got a following. I reckon this is a good opportunity. Early days, but check it out for yourself and have a look.
My one's the safe one.
Yours is safe. Mine's full degen. Yeah, be real.
You're always
careful.
like that. You always like the degen one, which is good. We love it.
I do love a dirty degen play, but that is us for the day, buddy.
You had that 10x on Tamadoj, and you had a few X's on Hoj as well. So you've been hitting the meme coins pretty well.
No promises, but check it out. Thanks for today, everybody. Don't forget to like us and subscribe us. Miles, that was awesome, bro.
Subscribe, click the bell. Have a great day.
Wallet, have fun.
Peace out.